We're here today talking to Deloitte CEO Giam Swiegers. Deloitte is one of the most dynamic of the big four accounting firms, and we're thrilled to have him here. Tell us about your use of social networking. I find that fascinating. Deloitte, I know, is the only accounting firm that's really gotten into things like Twitter and LinkedIn, and you have Yammer? Yammer, which is yours, I believe?
Well, it's not ours. Yammer is publicly available, right. But Yammer is somewhere between Facebook and Twitter, but it's only available to people with a deloitte.com.au address. And it allows people all over the organization to have chats with each other, link up like on Twitter or on Facebook, or to see all conversations. I'm very active in talking to our people and answering their questions on Yammer, which means that anybody in the firm that wants to see what I've got to say can see it. And it's just a fantastic tool. It is connected, at least half our people, so half of our 5,000 people, are actively connected and are talking to each other all over the country.
So give me an example of how it might be used.
I've seen one example where a young second-year consultant in Sydney was looking at a problem that could be a very innovative solution for a prominent client, but he wasn't sure if it was going to work. He posted on Yammer and he said, I'm looking at this, I'd like to speak to somebody that can tell me if this client will be interested in it. Posted at 6 o'clock at night. At 7 o'clock at night, a risk services partner in Melbourne, never met the graduate, came through and said, I think one of these two partners should be able to help you, contact them. An hour later, the head of consulting came in and said, I know both partners, I know the client, speak to this one, not to that one. The answer will be apparent. And the next morning, one phone call, right there, next moment, a solution for a client that would have normally taken us forever to track down, and the consultant would probably have given up hope.
Right. And that happens quite frequently now.
There's 100, 150 Yammer conversations every day. It is quite remarkable to see. You can also have your own small community where you chat to each other, and then I can see all. Every 48 hours, I scan every single Yammer conversation in this firm.
And you're on it too?
I'm very active on it. At the end of the day, every executive wakes up in the morning and says, I have a good strategy. How do I get people to execute it? You've got to be able to talk to people. If most of our people are young, 75% of our people are digital natives, born after technology was invented. This is how they talk to each other. The only way I'm going to get to them is talk to them in their medium.
Right. And how do you feel about that, though, in terms of, I mean, you're the CEO, you are much higher up in rank, and yet they are talking to you as if they're just chatting, having a chat.
If you can't take it, you shouldn't get involved. I have very strong views on cultural diversity and how you manage it. And following one of my presentations, I put a little link in onto Yammer and say, here's more information. And I had a very bold challenge from somebody in Melbourne that disagreed with my view. Name came up. You don't get title, you don't get what they do. So we got into a public debate. The next morning, quite a few people came to have a chat to me about it, saying that was quite remarkable how it flattens the organization. This was a first-year analyst that in public forum was debating something that they knew I had quite a passionate view about.
And they knew you were the CEO?
Absolutely. Well, I would assume they would know that I'm the CEO. But it's what we want. I would much rather have him debate it with me than going to the pub and tell his mates that he doesn't agree with me. This way I know what's happening. We changed the policy in this firm in the middle of last year. And it was a very unpopular change, but I didn't know about it. One Thursday night, somebody posted on Yammer saying he doesn't think people at the top spent a lot of time thinking about the policy change and the impact. By Tuesday, 168 people had been participating in this conversation, and not many of them had a high regard for the intellect of the people that came up with the policy and approved it. So the Wednesday morning I came in and said, I think there's a problem. The chief operating officer will look at it. He went in, immediately said, I've scanned it, so-and-so seems to have the strongest views and the most logical solution. I don't understand the problem, I'll meet with him. Him happened to be a first-year analyst. The first-year analyst said that he's got the call, he'll have coffee, and 8 o'clock the next morning, policy got changed. all because of Yammer. That conversation could have created a riot if I hadn't known about it. It was a bad policy change.
Right, right. Do you think other companies should be doing similar sorts of things?
Well, not if they compete with us.
Not if they compete with you.
But others, I think you should really consider. Social media is changing the rules. And I firmly believe you will not be able to lead in the next few years if you're not capable of engaging with people in digital form. It's scary, but it's exciting.
It's interesting because social media would actually be replacing the need for staff memos, and it would be replacing the need for staff surveys, wouldn't it?
It could. We still use them all together. I think it's a multi-channel approach because you're always going to have the older guys that are not as comfortable with it, and they're going to be around for a while. They have a lot of wisdom, so you have to make sure you capture everybody.
Giam Swiegers, thank you very much. Thank you.